Your luteal phase will destroy your business if you don't learn how to cycle sync. I used to think something was wrong with me in my luteal phase. And if you don't know what I'm talking about and you are a female entrepreneur, this is for you. If you are a female entrepreneur, chances are pretty high that you have a menstrual cycle, or you used to have a menstrual cycle. And the thing with your menstrual cycle is that your menstrual cycle is not only your period, but there are 4 phases in your menstrual cycle, which are the follicular, the ovulatory, luteal, and the menstrual phase. In each of those phases, your hormones fluctuate. That also means the way that you think changes, your brain changes, your energy changes, everything changes. And the most important thing about this information is that you don't only are aware of these changes, but you utilize those changes to your advantage. Now, as women, we are taught how to hustle, how to work hard, and how to be the same every day. But what happens when we try to be the same every day, when we try to be as productive as possible every single day, we are quite literally working against our body. And the problem is, you can imagine the menstrual cycle split into 2 parts, the first part and the second part. In the first part of the cycle, which consists of the follicular and ovulatory phase, most women are pretty good. They're creative, they're energetic, they can go, they feel really good and aligned and positive. Whereas in the second half of the cycle, a lot of women really struggle right before their period, because this is where there's literally a complete switch of your hormones. In the first phase of the menstrual cycle, your hormone estrogen is dominant. In the second half of the cycle, your hormone progesterone is dominant. On top of that, what happens is that the majority of women have a hormonal imbalance. You might think that PMS, period pain, if you're irritated, if you're stressed, if you're worried, if you're hungry, all of these things, some of them are normal and we should not ignore, but oftentimes these things are signs that there is a hormonal imbalance within our body. And as long as we don't learn how to not only balance our hormones, but how to adjust our work to our schedule, we will become slaves to our bodies and to our hormones. And we will try to outwork our deficiencies. We will try to outwork our imbalances and ignore what our body is trying to tell us. But this isn't working. And if you don't do this type of work, if you don't look at yourself and look at your hormones and you don't sync your work with your cycle, your luteal phase, and I'm going to be very dramatic, your luteal phase might actually destroy your business. Because in the luteal phase, you will see things differently. You will work differently. You will show up differently. And this is going to be a little bit of a hack that has helped me a lot in my luteal phase and how to work with my body instead of against my body. What I tend to do in the luteal phase is literally the opposite work that I do in the follicular and ovulatory phase. In the follicular and ovulatory phase, I tend to be a lot more creative. My creative juices are running. I'm so motivated. I'm so energetic, and I use that. So I create a lot of content. I go out there. I collaborate. I talk to a lot of people. I truly allow that phase to be for that. Whereas in the luteal phase, I'm a lot more inwards. And this is not just me. A lot of women feel this way. You might be a lot more wanting to go inwards. You don't have a lot of energy. You might not be as creative. Oftentimes what can happen is that we feel unproductive. We feel like it's really hard to do something. And I hate that feeling. I personally hate the feeling of wanting to work and feeling like I can't get stuff done because my brain is literally all over the place. So what I do instead is I look at things that are very easy on my brain that I can do in my business. So for example, if I have to do taxes, or if I have to organize things or ideas or my folders, or I update my website, organizational things, structural things that don't feel like I have to use my brain so much, but feel super easy on me. And on top of that, I feel like I'm being productive, which is really important to me. So when I do those things, I also like to use the Pomodoro technique where, I'm productive, for example, half an hour, and then I have a 10-minute break. I'm productive for half an hour and have a 10-minute break. This way, I allow myself in those 10 minutes to go all in, but I also have those conscious breaks where I can take a moment to breathe, to make myself a tea, to lay down for a moment, and then I go back into work mode. This way, to be honest, I actually am a lot more productive than if I were to try to do a little bit here, a little bit there, and I'm all over the place, which also happens a lot for women in the luteal phase. You might be a little bit, scattered all over the place. Your brain might be going into many different directions. And so the Pomodoro technique really helped me with staying focused and being productive at certain phases of my day. And this way, I can get a lot of things done in 3 hours, 4 hours, and I don't feel like I spent the whole afternoon trying to be productive and it's not working. At the same time, nutritionally, you require more food. It is true that naturally, because of your higher basal body temperature, you require more food. So I increase my calories by 200 to 300 calories. I do not count calories, but I intuitively know I'm hungrier. I increase my calories. I also eat regularly, and I make sure I eat very whole food, nutrient dense meals that fill me up and that keep me satisfied. If I experience cravings during this time, I allow myself a treat, but I make sure it's a conscious decision and I don't overeat or I don't binge on those treats. Oftentimes when we have high sugar cravings or high salt cravings, it's because we're actually missing enough food or certain nutrients. And when we're eating balanced meals that consist of protein, fats, carbs, and fiber, you will notice a shift in your energy and also in your cravings. Please make sure you're eating at least 3 times a day, preferably 4 times a day. What this will do is it will keep your blood sugar stable, and it will also help you with your hormonal balance. At the same time, moving your body is going to be so beneficial. 2-3 times a day, going on a short walk in between work breaks, as well as, if possible, getting some sunlight, stepping out into the sun, feeling the sun on your skin. I know some of us are still in winter or it's very cold or dark where you're at, but even still stepping outside despite the clouds will make a difference because it will signal your body that it's daylight, and you will also notice a shift in your energy during this time. So I would highly, highly recommend doing those small things. Also making sure you're sleeping enough. We also require more sleep during this time. So maybe waking up half an hour later whenever possible, going to bed half an hour earlier so that we can get some more quality sleep in, and of course having a good sleep hygiene. So getting off your phone in the evening, reading a book instead, taking a bath, finding a way to calm your body down and de-stressing yourself is going to be really beneficial as well. So these are some of the things that truly helped me in the luteal phase of my cycle and in my business. It has made such a big difference to the way that I show up. It has made such a big difference to my business and to the quality of work that I create during this time, because it tends to be really hard for a lot of us women. And so we need to treat ourselves right in order for things to shift in our business as well. Let me know if this was helpful. Sending you so much love, and until the next time, bye-bye.